Welcome back. Now, this is my favourite topic, and I make no excuses for it. I will be talking about UFOs shortly. A little tease, by the way, at 5 p.m, obviously, I will be talking more about Keir Starmer's latest plans regarding the EU and the quotas and the migrants and all of that stuff. Right, but this is more important, OK? Could life be out there? Alien life. In Mexico, 2 alleged non-human alien corpses have been shown to Mexican politicians. They were found in Peru. They're estimated to be 1,000 years old. Now, a UFO enthusiast testified under oath, saying almost a third of the mummified specimen's DNA was unknown and they were not part of our terrestrial evolution. Right, I don't actually really care about those little things in boxes that much. Maybe they're real, maybe they're not. I don't know. But what I think is now happening, and human beings, for some bizarre reason, don't seem to care, is that we are being told by a variety of different governments that aliens exist. So, author of UFO and the Extraterrestrial Message, amongst other things, is Richard Lawrence, and Richard joins me now. Richard, in the last few moments, NASA is releasing information, isn't it, about UFOs, etc.?
Yeah, that finished like half an hour ago in Washington. A report that's been worked on. I mean, it's always a little disappointing if you have expectations, but in terms of government releases, this has been a spectacular year because their bar is so low. I mean, they've lied for so long and they've covered it up, and that's not a theory now, it's known.
Yeah.
So NASA have come out, and I understand someone who's monitoring it for me just told me they end by saying the extraterrestrial theory is plausible, which for them is...
Right, but let's just have this right. You are utterly convinced, aren't you, that extraterrestrial life has visited Earth and communicated with human beings?
Yeah, definitely, and it's not new. I mean, it goes right the way back. I mean, some of the best documents are some of the religious scripts, because they're the ones that have lasted. You know, the Ramayana has fantastic descriptions. I mean, much better than flying saucer, tic-tac, and the Bible, and so on. It's nothing new about it, nothing strange about it. What's great, though, Patrick, is the stigma is going. People can now talk about it without being ridiculed. The worst you get, as you said, is boredom.
Where do you think extraterrestrials come from?
I believe they come from throughout the galaxies, but also from this solar system. So I know that's extremely radical, and what they're always looking for is life as we know it. You know, is there sustainable conditions? There aren't on Mars, Venus, Jupiter, for life as we know it. But then I'm also, as you might know, a believer in multi-dimensional existence, which is where science is going now.
Just go on, explain that a little bit.
Well, so that you could have life forms. In fact, the astronomer Helen Sharman said, you know, that aliens could be invisible to us.
Right.
And some of the UAP, as they now call them, the UFOs that they have detected, disappear and reappear. They have powers over matter that, and also gravity that we don't understand. So multi-dimensional existence would be higher life forms, you might say a higher frequency of existence.
And do you think that governments are hiding this from us?
I know they've hidden it for... I mean, I brought documents over 40 years ago, believe it or not, in my 20s, which were absolutely clear-cut evidence that governments
Well, like what,
knew...
quickly?
Well, OK, there's one paper from the 70s which showed something that came up in the Congress hearing last month, actually, that they were chased by a jet. It was actually over Tehran. This is a CIA document. It's in my book. People can read it. But you find it elsewhere. You don't have to buy my book, but I probably shouldn't say that. But it shows that they not only chased a UFO, were chased by a UFO, but as soon as the plane came within firing distance of that craft, their weapons control panel went dead. And then when they were out of range, it was reactivated again. This is CIA documents showing...
And there's a lot of this stuff out there.
Oh, yes. There is
a lot of this stuff. And we are now starting to get disclosure, aren't we?
We are. And what's important, I think, isn't just the craft, it's who's in them. What is their message? What are they saying? Why are they doing this? Why are they giving clear evidence but going no further? And will they?
And we'll have to wait and see what that message officially is.
Yeah, well, there are people who claim to know, and by the way, I'm quite sceptical. I think you have to be very careful. I don't necessarily believe a lot of claims, but there are genuine ones, and the ones I've written about, they are absolutely genuine.
I want to talk to you again very, very quickly. Patrick Christys, GB News, and I'll come back more on Keir Starmer's EU migrant deal, but I find that fascinating. See you in a tick.